So this classic is the only classic to have ever made me ugly cry. And when I say ugly cry, I mean just that. It was ugly, it was disgusting, and I'm glad no one was there to witness that moment. This author is great at packing so much within his simplistic writing style. The quotes were absolutely beautiful, and I was just completely into the story. And by the end of it, like I said, I ugly cried because I was just so invested in the lives of these characters and what was happening. And I'm talking about A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. In the story, we follow along with Lieutenant Henry, who is an American fighting on the Italian side of World War One, and we watch him fall in love with Catherine, who is a nurse during this time. One of the things I really loved about A Farewell to Arms that I think was just really brilliant was how one minute you would be caught in the reality of the war and the harshness and the ugliness of what goes on in war, and then when it would go to the storyline between Henry and Catherine, you would get caught up in the dreamlike fantasy of their romance, and it was beautiful. But you couldn't stay there very long because boom, something would happen and you were brought back to reality. So you were always constantly on the cusp of dreamland and reality. And Hemingway does such a great job at that throughout this whole story to the point where, like I said, at the very end, I ugly cried with how heartbreaking and how real the story ended, even though I didn't want it to end that way. And I didn't want it to end. So I definitely think you should check out A Farewell to Arms by Hemingway. And I think it's a great place to start with him if you're interested in reading any of his works.